Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
Welcome, everyone, to the Today in AZ After Show. We got Ryan Cody today.
Happy to be here.
Yes, you gotta bring up all the
I got a
leads.
request to come sit down on the couch with y'all. And okay.
We had to go through quite a few avenues.
Yep.
Yeah.
It happens.
Make sure that this was all right.
I know.
It's okay.
Yeah. All right, well,
But you're here.
to start off, we got to thank all of our veterans out there for their service.
Yes, thank you.
People around the valley are sharing photos of their loved ones who served. We want you to keep them coming. So share your photos of your
love all these
favorite pet.
pics.
Yeah, using hashtag #BeOn12.
Oh, look at those pictures.
Aren't those beautiful?
I love the older
I
ones.
love the
too.
old pictures.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
it's
nice.
so nice to see. I love it.
really
It's a great
nice.
way to pay tribute. And a lot of events going around today in and around town. I know Crystal had our Veterans Day parade forecast.
Starts at 11 a.m.
Have to wear your full military uniform because it's hot.
It is hot. 86 degrees today.
86 for maximum, but at the
real?
start of the parade, it'll be in the low 70s. That sun will be shining, though. It's going to feel really, really nice. Yeah, it's bonus shorts and flip-flop weather, I just say. Yeah.
I feel like we're not even allowed to complain, though, because
Oh, no.
the rest of the country and what everybody else is dealing with, East Coast and West Coast,
Yeah.
and you're just like, oh my gosh, things are quiet is a good thing.
It's almost everywhere but here.
Yeah,
It really is.
It really
It's
is.
beautiful.
It's
out.
shocking how cold it's going to be. They're going to be breaking records.
Yeah.
42 states are under, like, what, winter weather advisories?
There's all kinds of, yes, and there's, dozens of record cold temperatures could bite the dust, and it's just so far reaching. Snowflakes can fly as far south as Tennessee, and whenever you have that extreme happening on one end, you have the other extreme on the other end, so the jet streams come down on one end, it's got to go up somewhere else, so it's over us, and that's what high pressure is kind of hooking
Still
us
going to
up.
be fall
Wild.
for another month, right?
You're right, pretty much. at least this next week, these temperatures are more reminiscent of mid-late October. Yeah, it's a
Chilly
little
starts,
bonus.
though.
I know.
Those are good.
Yes,
We're freezing in the
mornings.
studio, though.
I know. We're always
It
like
feels like winter in here.
under a blanket.
I get to wear a coat.
Winter
It's
is
nice.
coming. So there's today is Veterans Day, but it's also Singles Day, which we had no clue what this was.
I thought Singles Day was where we celebrated the single people.
I think it kind of is, though.
It
So
could be.
it's 11/11, which makes it Singles Day. It's the biggest shopping day of the year.
Wow.
You don't have to save for college. You're not doing this. You don't have to put money aside. So spend it. Singles Day is widely believed to have started in the 1990s by Chinese men celebrating being single while they're in university. So in 2009, Alibaba, which is a Chinese e-retailer, launched its first shopping event that day. Heavy discounts. Last year, it sold $30 billion in goods.
What?
On that
Cha-ching.
single day. I find this so fascinating.
Why are we just hearing about this
Because
now?
of the one.
Ones? Is it called Singles Day because
Yeah,
the ones
one.
like dollars?
Celebrating the
Make it
number
rain.
one.
All the dollars. Make it rain on whatever
Not
pair of
those
shoes you
singles.
want.
So after reading about this morning, I noticed that I had a flood of emails.
Yeah.
Like Urban Outfitters is 50%
yeah.
off today.
I
Free
just started
shipping.
looking up.
I ordered some Ulta items for free shipping.
I never heard of it either until I checked the inbox.
If you go to Alibaba, which again, if you do order off of, I know that the shipping does take a little bit longer, but they have so many deals. So maybe get some shopping done. How did we not know about it? It started in 2009.
I guess I didn't watch the news.
None of you guys are single.
Yeah, that's true too. Wow.
That is wild. You know, it's like, because if you're single, it's like, I'm going to make myself happy today, and I'm going to buy some items. So I could see where that started way back in the day.
That's every day for me. Buying stuff.
Okay,
With no repercussions.
I've been talking a lot about this all morning long. If you love Instagram, you may not love its plans to hide your likes. Or you know what? You may like it even more.
Yeah.
The company says they are planning to test a new program that hides likes from a person's followers. They've been testing this all over the world, and now it's finally being tested in the U.S. So you can see who likes your photo, but you cannot see other people's likes on their photos. You know, on the bottom of a photo, it'll say, like, you know, if it's Vanessa's, 4,000 likes.
Yeah, definitely.
If it's mine, it's 40 likes. That will be completely taken away now. The goal here is to relieve some of the social pressure off of young people because, and I'm sure you guys have felt this, sometimes you look at a picture and you're like, I want to post this on Instagram, but what if it doesn't get enough likes? Or what if I need to post it at 7 o'clock so that more
Right, at
people will
certain
see it? Or
times.
some celebrities, though, which I thought was so funny, because Ryan, this was your story this morning on our show, do not like it. Right. And Nicki Minaj was one of them that was speaking out, even saying that if they do this, she'll go off of Instagram.
She's suspending her account. But she has millions of followers. She gets millions of likes. Of course, you wouldn't understand what it is like to not get a whole bunch of likes on your posts. I just don't think she's qualified to talk about how this would mentally affect young people, because she's the exact person that these kids are comparing themselves to when they post something as to why they want to get all sorts of likes.
That's the dream, right? All these kids now want to be influencers and have that status, and but it's, I mean, just being a regular high school kid and you're looking to get like a dozen or so likes. It's just a different
and her coming out and having this whole stance only furthers, I think, the pressure that it puts on these young people who do post something, because we can all subconsciously sit here and say like, oh, like it's just about sharing things with our friends. But say you put out a post that like you're really happy about and you're really proud of that picture, and it's just a total dud. Like it doesn't get any likes. You know, you think about that and you're like, oh, well, that kind of sucks. Why,
so maybe the experience
wasn't
wasn't so great, or maybe I didn't look that good in that picture.
Right.
There have been countless studies, which is why this was all stemmed in the first place, of how likes they almost likened it to like a dopamine, like that's what it was creating within you. That the amount of likes or what you would get on Facebook or Instagram. It would give you like this zing of like, you know, and then that in your brain triggers like self-acceptance and validation. And it's just not working out. Like it's just terrible that these kids are obsessing so much over what they're posting online that it completely detracted from what they say was the reason for social media, which was to connect people and to have like a positive experience. It's become so negative that people now, and I hear this from influencers all the time, you know, you shouldn't root your self-confidence in likes or in validation from social media, but
which is easy for them to say.
But subconsciously, that's just how it works.
That's just how it works.
You just check it. Like I'll post a picture and I'll look, I'm like, oh, how many likes did he get? Like it's just a thing, you know. You don't even think, like you just automatically look without.
And I think one thing we have to reiterate here too is that you can still do that. You can still
just
look
everybody else
how many likes you're getting, which is, I think, lost on some of the comments that we were having from our viewers, is that you can still see how many likes. Yeah, you know. From your post. It just keeps it away from all the other people that go on there and say, oh, Vanessa got 4,000 likes, why am I only getting 30?
Yes.
Now they can just sit and go, oh, well, like, that's a beautiful picture of Vanessa.
Yes.
You know, and they don't have to look at how many likes it's getting. You can still get that self-validation if that is important to you. If it's important to you. If it's not, no big deal. I don't really understand it. That's just me personally. Why this is such a problem
It
for
shouldn't
people,
be a problem.
But it is.
I think it's also will help save some relationships. Because if you think about it, when you are on Instagram, and I've heard my girlfriends be like, oh, my boyfriend liked that girl's picture. Why did he like that picture? Like, who is she? Do they know each other? Like, and they start like questioning all this stuff about their relationship just because their boyfriend liked a picture.
Oh, that's interesting.
Well, I wonder. I didn't even think about that. Will that feature still be available? Because you know how you can go on to see someone's feed and see like what they have liked recently? Will you still be? I don't know. Will you still be able to see that part, or will you just not be able to see the number of likes?
You just can't see the number of likes. I think you will still be able to
see that. You can see who liked it
and say, oh, well, he liked that picture.
Ooh, so they're still gonna have some relationship issues. Question on that note,
Singles Day might become more important.
More people are gonna be shopping, but so on my Instagram, I've noticed that I can no longer see what other people like. Do you still have it?
I have no clue.
So I don't know if they
I never look at that.
That's an interesting.
So
part,
no one can see anymore.
I don't know.
That is crazy.
Check it out.
So
how do you look?
You said that other social media sites have tried this, right?
So you used to be able to
Twitter,
see
they got away with it.
when other people like.
They've tried it in other countries as well. And so in the end, they just decided to go back to it because I guess.
And then it used to be in this
corner. They didn't make much of a difference.
Make a dent.
Right.
That's what I think it's interesting.
And it'll probably happen here too. I mean, I'm sure the likes will probably come back to Instagram, especially because of the uproar that we've seen and just like.
Wait, so they did bring it back in the other countries?
Oh yeah.
Oh, they did.
This was just an experiment.
Is this to get us talking about Instagram again? Because
probably
every network is leading with that story this morning. So,
I'm bummed that all the other countries brought it back.
Well, in like Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, they've tried that even
And
in
they brought it
America
back.
and brought it back. They just decided, I guess, that it didn't make much of a difference. And maybe what they're finding here, and this is what I think, and it's the point that Cardi B tried to make, is that the comments are actually a much larger problem
Right.
when it comes to negativity and how people are feeling about their post. Is like what Cardi B said, does it really matter how many likes you're getting if there are a whole bunch of people making negative comments?
Comments are awful.
Because that really is what sticks with you. Like in the end, the extra 10 likes or 10 likes less, that doesn't really stick with me. But when somebody gets on there and goes on this rant about how terrible you look and the bags under your eyes, or you know what I mean, whatever they're saying.
100 positive comments, but that one nasty one is the one you think about.
But isn't that such a problem?
Awful. It's awful, but that's,
Even to the little things. Like, you can't do anything. I posted a picture at the ASU game this weekend, and first of all, I didn't go to ASU, and it was a blackout, so I wore a black tank top. You don't know how many messages I got. Where's your ASU gear? How come we're not supporting ASU? Like, what is going on? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I didn't go there. Like, I went to GCU, I went to the game with my friends for fun, and I participated in a blackout by wearing a black tank top.
It also
That's just
doesn't
being
matter.
ignorant. Because
But I
you
had
have to know it's a blackout.
many people upset that I wasn't, like, repping ASU.
Get upset about everything.
I was like, gosh, people.
You know, and it needs to go back to, like, when you're first being introduced to social media, like, what you need to say to your children is, before you post anything or comment on anyone's picture, take a deep breath and realize that her wearing a black shirt or whatever's going on, does it really affect you? And if you're getting worked up about it, put your phone down and go outside for a walk, or like go have a conversation with a real person. You know, Ashton Kutcher had one of the best responses, and I've thought about it so much whenever I get like a negative comment. So Demi Moore released her book, you know, and talked a lot about Ashton Kutcher and their relationship and kind of bad things that were going on. He tweeted out, I was going to like have some snarky comment, you know, on the heels of this release. But then I looked at my wife and I looked at my kids and I put my phone down. And like you know,
other things are more important.
Yes, other things are way more important than being a keyboard Cruella and coming up with something silly or snarky in response.
But some people love that. Some people love debating on.
But that's wrong.
We have people here that will admit that they love debating on Instagram and Twitter
I know
with
who you're
people.
talking about, and that's silly. Get a life.
And they're like, we love battling with these people, you know, and these trolls.
It's a losing battle, though. It really is.
Because you're
not winning anything.
Because you know
you're not going to change someone's mind.
Right. And if you were face to face with that person, then maybe we can have a conversation. But doing it over a keyboard is just silly.
And if you get mad about it, it is exactly what the
they
troll
want.
wanted. So you're just playing into it. The troll is probably sitting there smiling and laughing about the things that they said, and you're getting really upset about it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Are you guys seeing some of the
crazy?
Are you guys seeing some of the comments here? So Diane, Lisa say yes, they like that idea, and Michelle, yes. I'm scrolling and see a lot of I kind of do. Stephanie Tarp. But it would destroy social influencers. So actually, maybe
it wouldn't.
That's good.
So that is something that does need to be kind of, I guess,
addressed.
Yes, is that it wouldn't at all, because all you have to do, what these social influencers do is, number one, it's mainly about followers, and number two, when it comes to likes, you can still see your own likes, and then you can, what we said earlier, screenshot it, send it off to whatever person or company you want to be represented by. So
if that company says to you, I'm only going to pay you if I find out how many likes you got on the photo, no problem. You can still show that to them, because again, the likes still exist. They're just not shown.
A lot of times they find you because of how many followers you have.
Yeah, true. I mean, it just goes back to advertising. How many eyeballs get on something is how much you would pay for said advertising. So if you see that someone has 32 million followers, it doesn't matter how many likes they got. You know
they're going to
how
get
many
a
people
substantial
see
amount.
it.
Yes, Shelley says how sad that kids seem to get their self-worth from what other people think.
And adults, some adults.
Oh yeah, a lot of
adults.
Yeah, this is not just an adolescent problem.
No, it's really not.
You know, I have a lot of girlfriends who are social media influencers, and it's funny because it is different for the other women, like part of our group, where you do feel a little less than because of these. I mean, social media influencers are like celebrities now.
Yeah.
For goodness sakes. Like,
can you believe that they like make a living off of this?
Exactly.
Oh, and then some, you know, provide for their entire family. It's incredible. And it's, pretty smart for companies to invest in these people because the amount of eyeballs that you get on a single picture, for goodness sakes, is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But
having said all that, I would not be shocked if Instagram somewhere in their mind was thinking, how can we
make
monetize this as opposed to letting the influencers monetize it? I'm sure there is something to that, and that was Nicki Minaj's point. I don't think this is going to work towards that, but I wouldn't be shocked if there are some suits in a room somewhere just sitting around saying, how can we make this happen?
Why is that money going away? We need to capture it.
Because there are millions and millions of dollars that are being spent from these companies going straight to the person who uses Instagram as a platform. Don't you think that Instagram should get some money if they're providing this platform for these people? I don't know.
That's how business works. I don't see how you could argue against. I mean, unless you're the one having to shave some of your income off to give to Instagram. I understand why you feel that way, but
I feel like people would just move on to the next free app.
And they will. And they will. And that's what we figured
will.
out in social media is there's going to be something new sometime soon, and we'll all move on to that at some point. So
because that's exactly what happened with Facebook. Remember when we all were jazzed about Facebook, and then your mom and your grandma and your great grandma all got on it, and you're like, oh, not so cool. So we went to Instagram. We'll see what the next thing is.
And then Zuckerberg bought Instagram.
Yes.
And decided that he was going to move on with the next thing rather than creating it in a dorm room.
So Graham says, I think the entire algos need to be evaluated, the algorithms.
Yes.
What most people don't realize is these platforms are built to keep users on them. Most social machines learning are trained to create addiction based on engagement, and that can have nasty side effects.
Remember
and his name is Graham.
Yes. Graham
Remember when Instagram was whoever posted, it was a time thing. So like if you posted it this time or whatever, then you would see it first. Or now it's all on algorithms based on what they think you would want to see. I miss stuff from like my sister and all that jazz. It drives me nuts.
Yep.
It does drive a lot of people nuts.
I don't like that.
This topic drives me nuts.
It's a
good topic because a lot of people are talking about it. But it shows to me like how fired up we get and how fired up everybody gets. It's just really sad that this is where we are and that people are upset about things like this. We have real things to be upset about in this world, and we're mad about what's going on Instagram.
It just kills me that celebrities are like, well, we're going to pull our accounts and just get off it. It's like,
go ahead.
I mean, really?
I really don't care.
But you know what, Ryan? This virtual world, the social media world, is sometimes more important to people than the real world. And I think that's where the problem is now headed.
It's a huge problem.
Yeah.
I mean, just there's consequences to that we don't even know about yet.
Totally.
And it's
I'm
like,
afraid of what the consequences are going to be. They're going to show themselves at some point.
You think about, we talk about like smoking back in the day. People just didn't know what the consequences were, and everybody got into it, and then we all found out. I mean, I think in a few years we might really find out as the generation goes on, like how messed up mentally a lot of people could end up being because this is such a problem.
I know, and that's going to be a real issue. Oh, golly, go into therapy if anyone wants to have a really lucrative career.
Yeah.
Do that, because in the next couple of years, we're going to need it. All right, in case you missed it, segment from this morning. And if you're sick, call out from work. Seems simple, right? Well, it's not. Most people say they feel bad for skipping work even when they're feeling under the weather. According to a study done by Robitussin, most people still go to work because they're just too stressed to stay at home. Others say they still come in because they don't think they're sick enough to call out. Experts say if you're feeling sick, call out. There's no need to make everyone else miserable. There you have it.
Well, there you have it.
Drives me nuts when people come into work and they're sick.
Yeah. Sometimes, though, I mean, you feel guilty for calling in, and you feel bad, and you don't want to put
right now
anybody else in a bad situation, you know?
No, but the problem is when employers could guilt you for being sick. And then there's also, here's another problem. We all know that person that is like sick all the time.
Sure.
And they're creating this problem, in my opinion, because then everybody else is kind of like, well, I don't want to seem like that person. I don't want to be that person in the boss's eyes. The bosses know. They know when somebody is sick and isn't, because you're just not sick every day.
And especially not every Monday and Friday.
Yeah, not.
Like, what is that? I will admit, I come to work sick a lot, only because I know I shouldn't do it, but it's also because I hate thinking about the person because on this shift, who's going to get that call when I call out in the middle of the night? night, and it's like I picture them. Oh, they're probably enjoying a dinner out with their family, and now they're
like, we gotta go home and
Now
go to
they're 2 hours
bed.
late to bed already.
Didn't I do that to you? Did you have to fill in last Monday when my daughter
they
was
called
sick?
Matt Uris.
But he was already here.
Yeah, he was already working.
Reporter, so at least it was like you could kind of just move that person into a different role. But when you have to call somebody who's normally off, or somebody who's night side, and then they just got home, and you're like, well, you got to turn around. And
we're here in TV where that's the case, but in how many careers where like
jobs.
people can just move on? Like you called in sick.
What's that like?
Okay, that's fine. Like
Guess
we'll
what?
be fine
Yeah.
today.
We'll take care of it, get
it'll be
better.
okay, you don't have to call somebody else in.
I've never had a real job. I don't know what that's like.
A real job.
To get bank holidays.
Is this a fake job?
I know. I always say when I grow up, I'm going to get a real job.
I'll make way more money. All right, everyone.
Well, on that note, we got to get back to our real job and do our cut-in. So thanks for
day.
joining us here.
Enjoy your Veterans Day.
Yes.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank
to
you
your
so
veterans
much.
if you see them. Yes, today.